All right, good evening. It's Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. Regular meeting of the Windsor Heights City Council. Roll call.
Susan Skiris.
Here.
Joseph Jones.
Here.
Michael Libby.
Here.
Lauren Campbell.
Here.
Teresa Harms.
Here.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to move 5I to the top in front of presentations. With that, for approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Susan Skiris.
Yes.
Joseph Jones.
Yes.
Michael Libby.
Yes.
Lauren Campbell.
Yes.
Teresa Harms.
Yes.
That item is approve Down Syndrome Acceptance Month proclamation.
Move to approve. Oh, you don't need me to do that.
No, it is a action item. So motion, second? So was there a motion and a second?
Yes.
Roll call.
Sorry.
Roll call.
Susan Skiris.
Yes.
Joseph Jones.
Yes.
Michael Libby.
Yes.
Lauren Campbell.
Yes.
Teresa Harms.
Okay. Proclamation signed.
I believe we have John with Gigi's Playhouse here. If we want to grab a quick picture of the proclamation.
Okay.
Can we all go?
Where's my bearskin from?
John, we've talked about this before.
Oh, no. Three, two, one.
Take like Tanner.
Yeah.
Rapid fire.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
John, we'll let you keep that. We'll take a picture of the profile so we can see. Of course.
It's better.
Know what they do.
It's, they've got to get it together back here.
All right, 3A, presentation from Dr. Nalo Johnson on the Central Iowa Emergency Renal Assistance Study. Nalo, is the red light on?
Can you just hit the button?
Thank you.
I think it's on now.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'll move this a little. Good evening, council members. I'm very fortunate to be familiar with most of you, but for those who I don't know, I'm Dr. Nalo Johnson. I'm president and CEO of Mid-Iowa Health Foundation. Our foundation is a private nonprofit foundation that supported the Central Iowa community for over 40 years now. We prioritize addressing the social drivers of health and investing in data-driven and community-informed initiatives to address community health outcomes. I really want to thank you all for your partnership as being one of 11 public, private, and corporate funders for the Central Iowa Basic Income Pilot. I'm excited to share that our final survey for that study is currently underway and will wrap up at the end of this month. That is our last data point within the Basic Income Pilot. Can't believe we're finally at that space. And we'll receive our final analysis for the Basic Income Pilot in June of 2026 and share out those findings from the final analysis in a community conversation event in June of 2026. I hope that through your participation as a funder that you have found the process of research data collection, educational information sharing, and the ability to leverage public, private, and corporate dollars has led to a meaningful opportunity for our community to learn about impactful ways to support low-income community residents. With the Basic Income Pilot ending, I'm here tonight to share with you our next collaborative economic mobility research to inform policy effort. As a response to the significant conversations in our community around affordable housing and homelessness prevention needs, we are moving forward with implementing an emergency rental assistance study. And there should be a handout that I provided to Adam that you all can look at that has this overview of the pilot as well. So this study seeks to inform local decision makers regarding the most effective length of time to provide emergency rental assistance to a low-income working household in crisis in order for that household to regain their economic stability. We're working with a team of economists at Grinnell College as our researchers, as well as partnering with various nonprofit social services organizations serving our Tri-County area of Polk, Dallas, and Warren counties who will administer the study. When a community member presents themselves to a participating nonprofit and requests emergency rental assistance, they'll be screened for eligibility and randomly assigned to receive either 1 month, 3 month, or 6 months of assistance. 552 total participants will receive rental assistance through the study, while an additional 120 participants will be randomly assigned to a control group in order to compare their experiences to the study group's experiences. While the control group will not receive direct assistance from the study, they are eligible for any type of assistance that that particular social service organization already offers. Participant eligibility includes living in Dallas, Polk, or Warren County, having a household income up to 60% of area median income, which is defined in 2025 as $68,700 for a family of 4. Have at least one dependent in the household, as we recognize that one of the most significant impacts around emergency rental assistance and potential eviction are kids having to move from school district to school district, as well as being employed. Study participants will be surveyed 3 times, examining health, education, employment, and long-term stability impacts. In addition to the surveys, a cohort of participants will be invited to participate in qualitative interviews to further examine their experiences with the intervention. We're also interested in gathering information from landlords. Thus, interviews will be held with a cohort of participating landlords to gain their perspectives on the impacts to their businesses when tenants in crisis have access to a tool like emergency rental assistance. 50% of the study participants will have their rental assistance payments paid directly to the landlord, while 50% of study participants will receive their rental assistance directly themselves. This allows researchers to study any differences in the method of payment assistance, as well as any potential cost efficiencies that are involved with either method. In addition to our research team at Grinnell and our nonprofit social service partners, project management of the study will be housed at Mid-Iowa Health Foundation. The project manager will be responsible for supporting the nonprofit partners in administering the study, as well as for cultivating a community conversation series throughout that project period. And they'll discuss Central Iowa's affordable and accessible housing needs, including producing publications related to local data on this topic. So I'm currently raising the $2.4 million needed to implement the study and expect to have funding commitments secured by the end of this year. I have some funders who will be voting in early 2026 for their support. This will allow me to contract with our project partners in the first quarter of 2026 so that we can officially start project planning in the second quarter and be able to enroll participants in July of 2026. This study is a 2-year project period, and we will share the results with the public in that final community conversation, which will take place in the third quarter of 2028. Over 70% of the project costs go directly to the emergency rental assistance payments themselves, as well as the nonprofit organizations for their administrative costs. This study is a direct response to our community's 2025 blueprint to address homelessness strategy, specifically Point A, which is focused on homelessness prevention assistance. The study is designed to inform local decision makers regarding the most cost-effective way in which to administer an emergency rental assistance program in order to achieve that desired outcome of keeping community members in crisis stably housed. We anticipate that local city and county governments will utilize the study findings to design, augment, and/or implement their own emergency rental assistance programs. And as a result, we would expect to see fewer individuals and households enter into the homelessness system. We also would expect to see less resources needed from public and private entities to stabilize families when they enter into the homelessness system, such as shelter services, case management services, and food pantry services. Thus, this study seeks to improve the sustainability of local programs by providing that scientifically valid research recommendations to inform their program design. My final note here, I'd like to share that while our project is obviously focused on Central Iowa, we anticipate that our research team will share the study findings at national conferences and publications. Therefore, the impact of the study results has the potential to inform emergency rental assistance programs throughout the country and therefore decrease the number of households that are entering into homelessness, not only here in Central Iowa, but across the nation. So I want to thank you for your consideration of support for the Central Iowa Emergency Rental Assistance Study, and I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
Nalo, can you tell us right now, are there any municipalities that currently have any program, or is it just the county level and nonprofits? Who's currently providing that emergency rental support?
Yeah, the ones that I'm aware of, obviously Polk County offers its general assistance program that is also utilized to access rental and utility assistance. The city of West Des Moines has their rental and utility assistance through their human services department. City of Waukee offers or provides a 28E agreement with Waypoint Resources, formerly Waukee Christian Services. So there are unique kind of funding opportunities. Multiple entities or municipalities do fund impact community action, but those are more kind of overall general assistance dollars that then they put towards their rental assistance and utilities assistance needs.
Okay, thank
Mhm.
you.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes, Councilmember.
Hi. I'm really looking forward to the final results of the Guaranteed Basic Income Program. We've worked with your staff several times over the past couple of years, but I'm curious about housing. How many do you think, do you have any data on how many folks are housing insecure at this point in Polk County?
Mm-hmm. Well, I have data from Polk County's Social Services Department regarding their last fiscal year, the number of people who accessed their rental and utilities assistance program. So, and this is just from Polk County, mind you, right? So this wouldn't be like impacts numbers or any other specific municipality. So for the last fiscal year, there were 2,855 individuals who access rent and utility assistance through Polk County's program. Specifically from Windsor Heights, 12 individuals access that. To give you a sense of like proportionality, Windsor Heights is about 1% of Polk County population. And based upon your 12 out of that 2,855, you had about 0.5% of the total number of people who access the program. So you're pretty proportional between your population to county and those accessing that program.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. You're remarkable. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for all of the work that you've done here in the last few years to kind of bring this to everyone's attention and to really work towards the housing insecurities. When you talk about the funding and, you know, your kind of ask that you have there, is that for just 1 year or is that for 2 years? Like say that we agreed with the 5,000 just because that's easy. Would that be 5,000 fiscal year 2026 and then fiscal year 2027 that we would be dedicating that, or would it just be one fiscal year?
Correct. Overall, it's more helpful for me to receive those funds up front, but I recognize every organization or municipality has their own kind of budget considerations. So really, I'm looking for that commitment in order to be able to guarantee that I can pay the contracts. Again, wanting to contract in Q1 of 2026. So getting that commitment from council is important to know so then I can plan accordingly when I'm entering into contracts.
So is that a $5,000 commitment or a $10,000? If you go by, the recommendations and the per people,
Mm-hmm.
what is your kind of your ask, for lack of a better term?
Sure. Well, my reference point was your support for the basic income pilot, which you did at 15,000. Very grateful for that. I think being in that 10 to 15,000 range again would be helpful and supportive for this study.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Again, when do you need to know by?
So you all, if you would commit, would be the first public entity that is committing support to this next study. I would really appreciate if I could name you all as the first public entity supporting. So the sooner the better. It does help as I
Pressure.
continue to have conversations with others to say, hey, look what Windsor Heights did. So
Understood.
yeah. Awesome. If other questions come up, please feel free to reach out. And again, thank you again for your partnership and support. It has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for what you do.
5B, presentation from IHYC's Youth Opportunity Center.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Stu Sherman. I serve as the Development Director for YSS. Been in that role for about 1.5 years now. And my primary job is to raise money to support some of the programs that we offer. And talking to Adam, I think it's helpful to kind of know a little bit about YSS in general. So very briefly, we are a stable organization. We are 7 locations strong. We are headquartered in Ames. We go as far north as Mason City. And then we have opened up our newest location. Some of you have maybe heard about our new 70-bed substance abuse addiction treatment center in Cambridge, in between here and Ames, that we opened up in January as our newest facility to help those clients ages 12 to 24 who are battling addiction of some sort to be able to get the help that they need. Whenever you come before a group like this and you're thinking in terms of asking for some kind of financial support, I think it's also important to share that YSS is a very stable organization. We have about 320 employees in those 7 locations. We have about a $30 million budget. So we are a stable organization. In 2026, we will celebrate our 50th year as an organization. For those of you who know our president and CEO, his name is Andrew Allen. He is full steam ahead about how we celebrate an organization who's been around for that long. I'm here tonight to specifically talk to you about one of the programs here in downtown Des Moines. And if you've not been to Iowa Homeless Youth Center, or IHYC, also referred to as our Youth Opportunity Center, we have a walk-in homeless shelter, and we also have what we call our E-bed, or emergency bed program. It is designed for clients, and again, that age range in which is our niche age. It's that age group of 12 to 24 that have some homelessness issues or insecurities. And it's really designed to serve as a way to provide them very temporary housing. And most of the time it's between that 30-day and 45-day period to be able to give some of those clients just the help that they need, and then to be able to assess and to address what is it that we can do as an organization to get them moved further along relative to their housing insecurity. I know in your agenda, you heard about Olivia's story. That's one of the most touching stories of our organization. And for those of you that haven't had a chance to read that yet, Olivia, probably 6 months ago now, unannounced came walking in our door. She was a recent graduate of Roosevelt High School. She came in and her story was this. She had a home where she lived with her mother, she lived with her stepfather, and she was living with a cousin. Olivia came to us because the stepfather decided, in order to earn some extra income, decided to be a sexual trafficker of his stepdaughter and his stepdaughter's cousin. And Olivia obviously needed to take herself out of that situation. We got her into our emergency bed program. We got her that temporary housing, and then another program that we do at YSS is what we call rapid rehousing, which is a little bit more longer term. And she is now living in one of our rapid rehousing apartments that we have throughout the metro. And last month, back in, well, I guess it's now 2 months, late August, early September, she is now a full-time student at Drake University doing wonderfully. She did not know where she would be able to go if she couldn't walk through our door and say, I need to remove myself from a home situation that is not stable. I also think you need to hear Gus's story. Gus came walking through our door at the age of 18, literally days after his 18th birthday, and basically telling us that he had been raised by a single parent, a single mother, who decided at the age of 18, her work with her son was pretty well done, and that she had to be able to go out and start living her own life. And that continuing to care for her son was going to be in the way of her living her best life. So sadly, Gus had nowhere else to turn. He came walking through our door, again, benefited from the emergency bed program until, again, we got him some stable housing, not as a foster care person, but as a foster support family. And last report last week that Gus was getting the kind of support, the kind of love, the kind of help that he needed, which included some behavioral health issues relative to some anxiety, some depression, even to the point of suicidal thoughts. And so he's getting the kind of support that YSS can provide to get Gus the kind of support that we need. So with that being said, the emergency bed program, probably again, about 5 or 6 months ago, our corporate board knows that it costs about $400,000 a year to run this program. Unfortunately, both state and federal grants are just not that present. And so to run this $400,000 program every year, we are basically making it operate with one grant. That's to the tune of about $65,000. The rest is a deficit that we are constantly having to address and to deal with. To be really frank, our corporate board was ready to shut down that program. Andrew Allen said, what if? And so our president and our CEO developed a wide range of meetings with various city councils. I think we probably have talked to about 15 of the local areas to be able to try to pitch and to try to solicit financial support to our emergency bed program. We've had mixed success. A lot of city councils love what we do, but because of some budget constraints with some of the local cities, they're not able to help us. Our two biggest successes were Polk County committed, and I think it says in your minutes that got approved back in August, but Polk County is going to be making a gift of $150,000 per year for the next 3 years. So we were delighted to get that commitment. The city of Des Moines is making a one-time gift of $75,000 to help address that $335,000 deficit that we are facing every year. And then we had a private donor who made an individual gift that isn't going to be available as a one-time use. It's going to be put into our foundation and pretty much using the interest off of the investment. That was a gift of $250,000 to again, not use all at once, but to be able to use the principal or to use the interest off of the principal gift that got invested. So with that being said, we are going to various city councils and kind of using the per capita or the resident for each town to about the tune of about 35 cents per resident. And so there's a lot of the smaller cities that we are asking that if that number doesn't go up to a $5,000 limit, that we kind of think in terms of a $5,000 ask as a minimum request to the smaller cities here in the Des Moines metro area. So I would like for the council to, if not this calendar year or this budget year, for a minimum of a $5,000 gift. And if that's not possible during current budget year, would invite your consideration for the following budget year. So the need is great. The effect that we have on these young people that benefit from our eBed program is significant. I hope that sharing Olivia and Gus's story is helpful to kind of bring to light the kind of people that we are helping and really getting them moved into circumstances that become desirable for them and puts them on a path to a productive, fruitful, happy, satisfying life. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions or anything that didn't make sense. And in the meantime, I'll have these passed around as well.
Thank you.
Hello, Stu.
Yes, Michael.
Good to see you, my friend. You were on my program back in November, and I learned so much about what it is that YSS does, and I was so grateful for that. I just, not really a question, just a statement. Young people are so tragically impacted, not only in our city, but all around. And my granddaughter saved the life of a young girl just last week who had decided to commit suicide by taking pills. And so your program is one of those that I think is so valuable and worthwhile. And again, not a question, just a statement of support. So thank you, Stu.
Appreciate that, Michael. Yeah, and with your comment, I would also say that one of our keystone events, some of you maybe are familiar with Reggie's Sleep Out, happens at November 1st out at Drake University on the Blue Oval. That program started because 20 years ago, Reggie Kelsey, who had aged out of foster care, who had some behavioral health needs, he aged out of the foster care system. Wasn't quite sure where to turn, wasn't quite sure how to navigate life. And unfortunately, Reggie took his own life shortly after and was found deceased in the Des Moines River. And that was the impetus for starting what we call our aftercare program to provide support, another YSS program to provide support to those kids who have aged out of foster care that still need some guidance in terms of navigating through life, whether that's going to college, how to apply for a job, behavioral health, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because we don't want another Reggie to ever happen again.
Stu, regarding the ask, is this assuming there was a commitment, is this a one-time ask or a continuous ask?
Yeah, no, this is a one-time ask. We think that we have some longer-term strategies to be able to address that financial shortfall that we look every year. So this is a one-time one-time ask. Thank you for asking that question.
Do you happen to know any numbers as far as, I know this kind of gets a little difficult when you're dealing with youth as
Yeah.
far as addresses go and what they're actually being forthcoming with, but do you know how many Windsor Heights residents have sought out help from YSS?
Yeah, in full disclosure, we don't know. Most of the time when we see kids and see clients that utilize the eBed, they're pretty much using Des Moines as their address because they don't have a Windsor Heights address or a Altoona or a Bondurant or Ankeny address. And so we have dug really hard into that to try to find out. I wouldn't think that the number for Windsor Heights would be large. But I don't want to sit here and say that there's never been a Windsor Heights resident that hasn't benefited from our eBed program. I wish we could say, oh yeah, we found out that there were 8 Windsor Heights kids in the last 3 years but we just can't seem to get that information, can't seem to dig that out because most of them put Des Moines, Iowa, because if that's where they're living on a couch or living out on the streets, that's what they tend to put down. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you, Steve.
Okay, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, 3C, presentation from Bridges of Iowa on Colby Park Public Art Project.
You're up. You're up.
So this might be awkward to pass my iPad around a little bit. But first of all, hello. What a fun little festival you had. I got to go on my way to work and have some snacks and some fruit and I wore my little clown pants and that was lovely. That was a big deal.
I recall seeing you and I don't recall seeing many people. I actually waved, which is even more impressive.
Chicken sauté and checkerboard pants on. I'm Amy, this is Jamie Bridges. Thank you. And we would have somebody else, but we couldn't find any other Amy. Find me names.
Thanks for developing the signs that we could quickly have made to display too. That was nice to get some attention on it too.
Oh, good. I know it looks beautiful. It looks so lovely. Like, it's really coming along and it's really exciting. And I've taken on teaching 25 students as a facilitator at Mainframe Business of Art class. It wasn't supposed to be very time consuming, but I mean, as you know, like people have a lot of questions and want a lot of your time. So I'm sorry because
Amy, I love that you're right here, but our people at
Yeah,
home
I'm
can't
sorry.
hear you. I mean, I want you here.
Yeah. I'm gonna pass some things around. Jamie will pass some things around. Hi, friends online. Hey, hey. That's pretty. So what I wanted to show you was, and kind of talk about that we, through this process is a little bit of what the art is gonna look like on the bridge. I have the flooring design, and the flooring is, there'll be 6 kind of skid-proof, adhesive things that will go on the floor that say cross the bridge to a better life, which I love. I kind of love that design very much. I had fun with it. And because I've been jumping around to all bits and pieces of the process. So we have these Max metal printed on the outside that will be artwork. And then the flooring that you'll walk across that kind of leads the way. And then inside we'll have panels. And this is why I brought this one here, that share personal stories from Bridges anonymously, but it's been a heavy night. You guys have taken on a lot of amazing and heavy stories. And so there's more stories. It's more of the uplifting. I'm kind of paraphrasing some of the stories that Jamie has put together of people that have had success and crossed the bridge to have a better life in sobriety and recovery in this year-long program. So there'll be little tidbits of information of positive, uplifting stories, but I think it's pretty cool to incorporate where people were at in the beginning, like this hopelessness, so this is like, before bridges, I spent most of my life at the bottom. After 20 years of hopelessness, abuse, and drug use, I was able to celebrate 5 years clean. It took a lot of time to pray and let go of anger so I could figure out where my life was going. I never knew living clean could be so joyous. I don't look at anything as a hopeless situation anymore. Bridges of Iowa was the beginning of a journey of healing and sobriety for me that nothing could have replaced. So sharing the good stuff and what people have gotten out of the program. And there'll be signs on the inside portion of the bridge as well. There's going to be 6 18 by 20 and 2 28 by 30. And this isn't them exactly, but they'll be more uniform size with informational about how to contact bridges, about what bridges is, and then scattered in with art and design and those personal stories.
In addition, where you used to have the sign about the bio cell, we're going to replace that sign with what the bridge actually is. It'll be not as artistic as what Amy is doing, but it will have a QR code for anyone who needs help.
This will be weird, but if you can, I mean, maybe not weird, I'll show it. So there'll be like strips, they're gonna be separated, so they lead you across the bridge as you go across, so it's a fun little ditty that you go there. And then I'll show you, I do stacks of drawings on paper, and then I do stacks of I mean, it's like this process, and then I get really meticulous about every little line. So, we can email them to you all as well. So it starts on the left side of each one is a black and white image. I think you've seen where it's this, one is hope and one is recovery. And it has some of the words that go along with kind of being in the depths of addiction.
Timing out on you.
It's all dark.
Oh, it is? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
now we
now-
lost
Oh,
now-
now I really did it.
There you go.
And then the recovery side on the other side has a hand reaching in. Because we're, just to kind of indicate, we're gonna start moving into color. I don't have all the color done yet, but the color palette is what you've seen on the side.
And the color palette does incorporate your city's color palette.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. And then these are the black and white drawings of the other panel. So it starts with, is it okay to, do you want me to not walk around with these, or do you want me to just email them? So we have rebuild. So a lot of people, they celebrate at the podium, they go across the bridge, and then it's about things that come back, could get back to us, family, friends, kind of ourselves. Ta-da. And then we have reconnect. Just more like a mix of words. He looks a little funny with that baby, but I'm gonna change him. He looks like he's had that baby for too long right now. I know that only you noticed. He's been looking at me all day like, oh. So see those little things get me.
And I think we can go ahead and email them to them too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just more of the same words and people mixed in with natural elements, because I want it to fit well with the bridge, with the location, with the space to kind of cut in. Because it's a beautiful bridge. It looks so good. And there will be some areas on the bridge when these things are installed that I will add some paint. But I have ideas for that, but I was initially gonna go crazy on it, but then we at one point talked about only the panels. And now we're at the space of the panels and some paint. But I want the bridge to be what it is. So what I do is I will draw with chalk, and then that leaves the outline of the color of the bridge, and then I paint around that. But beautiful words and natural images just to really tie it all in and let it be this sort of focal point. And I can email all those.
And just so you know, that night, we are going to probably just land on doing everything inside the community center until we actually unveil the bridge. We are inviting media. I already have a couple that have said they're coming, so, but we will have an actual graduation and there will be lots of great food from Sid's Catering and Gateway Market and stuff. So I hope you'll all be able to come and enjoy. The music will be provided by Vox Infinitus, which is the men's choir group, a cappella men's choir group. We will mic them, which they don't usually use mics, but they're probably, we feel like, I was looking at the space and with the ceiling height and everything else, I think we'll need to do that. So, and then we'll have cake and other sweets, but an anniversary cake for Bridges. And I just cannot tell you how appreciative we are of the opportunity to build this bridge and have it in Colby Park. It's a great park. Every time I go there, I like it more than the last time I was there. And I didn't make it out because I was visiting my daughter in England and I came back with this awful cold, junky stuff and ended up not being able to do anything over the weekend. But so I'm sad I missed that, but I hope you all like the bridge. If you were out there and you saw it, it was made by Amish people in Pennsylvania. So it was like, I had no idea. I mean, I was hoping, but I was not sure. And the day that it came, it was magic, right? Having it swirl up in the air and land down. So there, I think it's a little nicer than the one you all had in there before. Yeah.
I love that we're here
to
to,
say that. 'cause
yeah,
you're-
yeah.
It was fun to watch people stop and read the sign over the weekend. And so at different points in time, my comings and goings and whatever, it was just fun to watch.
I think I
People
got a picture of the
physically
people looking
stop.
at it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was kind of windy, so it.
Yeah, and different. And it was just like, oh, well, what's this? And what, so it was good.
Yeah.
People are looking. So I'm sure once we add all of the wonderful artwork, it's gonna be an icon in and of itself. So thank you for both of you for all of your hard work on this. It's gonna be super cool, a great addition to our park.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm super happy to be here too. It was like initially when we were talking about this project, I was like, I'm not an engineer. I can't build a bridge. I love the idea. And then it all has turned into this and it's amazing. And I love that it's Colby Park too, because it's a favorite of mine. I come from many directions with my dog, although he can't be in the dog park with other dogs anymore. We still walk through.
Mine either.
Right? What the heck?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Maybe you already said this. So starting from the despair into the hope,
Yeah.
is the hope closer to Colby Park or is it despair at Colby Park and hope leaving Colby Park? I'm hoping it's the
Both
hope.
ways.
in
It goes
okay.
both ways.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. But it will be leading in. It will, when you cross the bridge to a better life is walking into Colby Park.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, no, that was the whole idea, is that
Yes.
the park is.
And it's so perfect because it's kind of in this space. There's room around it and the rest of the park is so great, everything you've done there. And I'm really proud and excited. So thanks so much for letting us do our thing. And
The program does include words from our mayor here.
Everybody's looking forward to it.
You did a great job at the State of the City. I have high hopes.
And you even brought jokes. Well, you brought so many jokes.
He was really
It was
fun.
like, what's going on?
There will be a lot of graduates there and alumni. So, and if you are there for the graduation ceremony, you should probably bring tissues because they're usually fairly sad and joyous at the same time. So, do you have any other questions that we can answer or take care of? We're really here just to kind of give you an update.
if you see me out there painting and you want to paint, like we can schedule a time, like I can make it real easy for you. You want to come and paint.
It could be like paint by numbers, like. I could
Kind
just-
of that, yeah, so it'll be
Okay.
drawn, and then if you want to paint, I use a couple different brands of paint. One is Nova Color, it's designed for outside and it's really smooth, and one is a golden heavy body acrylic, which is buttery and delicious, fun to use, and
Like bake.
Sounds
icing.
fun, yeah.
Right, right.
So if you want to add to that, and also what's kind of fun that I do in schools is that with the little kids that don't paint, I mean, I'd love for them to paint, but generally I have a short amount of time with them, is we get fingerprints and then they leave little dots or a pattern in a flower or in a animal or an owl or something like that. So if you, I guess I'm inviting them to leave your mark.
Leave your
If you
fingerprint,
want-
yes.
If some way to add something to the bridge. With a little painting or something, just let me know.
When do you think you'll start your painting?
I think I'm gonna be there next week. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm already planning on I'm gonna be on this side when the sun is over here. I'm gonna be on this side when the sun is over there. That's the plan.
It's
Yeah.
just in time art.
Yeah. That's how-
She'll be done by Thursday.
that's how I do it. I have like a
No
big-
pressure. No
like,
pressure.
right? That's where the magic happens.
I do have one question for you all, because it's October, I don't know how dark it is by a 10 to 7. And it looks like it's very well lit there. I just need to know if I need to get some auxiliary lights so that it's lit really well when we have everybody go across the bridge, which is 153 steps from the community center.
So our movie started at 6:50. Actually, it started a little bit later than that because it was still a little bit light.
Yeah, I've been kind of paying attention
So-
to it.
The food truck plaza lights will be on. We can change them from orange to a brighter white if you'd like. And then there are the lights in the parking lot as well. So it certainly isn't going to be very bright, but there is
Okay,
light there. I think you'd probably be all right just from a kind of a trip hazard standpoint. There'll be enough light. Andy, have any thoughts?
Or maybe have something similar to what we had for Fall Fest.
Maybe not as bright.
Yeah. We can maybe point it at a different direction. Or change.
and
We rented the sun for fall.
Just the sun. Okay, good, good.
So
And where did you get that, Andy?
We actually borrowed another neighboring agency.
Oh, okay.
I guess it was kind of rental house, construction house would have. Light towers really what they're.
Right. We used to rent them for summer, actually, so, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You.
All right, public forum, time set aside for comments from the public on topics of city business other than those listed on the agenda. No action may be taken. Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and keep your comments to no more than 5 minutes. Public? All right, consent agenda,
Second.
roll call.
Susan Skiris.
Yes.
Joseph Jones.
Yes.
Michael Libby.
Yes.
Lauren Campbell.
Yes.
Teresa Harms.
Yes.
6, action items. There are none. Good work, everybody. 7, reports. I'll have a report next week. Well, whenever we have a council meeting again, I suppose. When is that, 2 weeks? All right. Take a moment, recognize the passing of Senator Celsey. All new Senator Celsey. I've asked the flags are at half staff today for a World War II veteran. I've asked the flags to remain at half staff tomorrow. I don't know if I have that authority, but I'm going to exercise it. So, Ms. Harms.
Thanks, Mike. So a couple of things. I also recognizing Claire was our senator for a long time, and thoughts and prayers and thinking of her family during this time and all of those that she served here in our community. My expectation is that there would be an announcement from the governor's office for a December special election for that seat. So just an FYI. Last Thursday, I attended the APWA meeting with Justin. I see he's not on there anymore, and the Bolton and Mink team and our concrete. Who were those people? Caliber Concrete, great guys. They were very complimentary, really. Enjoyed, I sat with them at the dinner and awards reception for our park. And so it was fun to get that recognition and hear other people talk so positively about our park and really in talking with the Caliber folks too, just they enjoyed doing it and really see it as they do a lot of different projects around the city, or excuse me, around the metro, and we're very, very complimentary of what we've got going on here. So that was awesome. Congratulations to Susan and Lauren for pulling off another extraordinary fall festival, and just have continued to hear accolades from neighbors and people in the community about another very successful event. So way to go, you guys, and thanks for all I'm sure there was probably blood, sweat, and tears that went into that. So thank you again for your leadership and hard work on that. Windsor Wonderland is coming along very nicely. I would love some feedback on, we are considering like a maker's market. And so that is an idea. So if anybody has any thoughts or feedback on that, I probably need to pull the trigger this week. And so would love some feedback on that. And we have MAC on Tuesday. I think that's everything.
What? I'm sorry? A maker's market?
Yeah,
What is that?
like
Crafts.
crafts, yeah,
Things
like
great.
people who
I'm not craftsy, apparently.
clearly not.
Circles.
Out there,
Some people make the crafts, some people bring their wallet and buy the crafts. So
Yeah,
you can go.
I'm the buyer.
so like a holiday market, sort of, yeah. Is that maybe easier? Is that maybe easier for you to understand?
Yeah.
Okay,
You could
good.
bake some cookies.
You could do anything. It would really be for anything. I know we have a lot of, I mean, you guys had there were some folks down at Fall Festival that were there selling their wares, and I think you see some more of those types of things, especially during the holiday time. So had it in mind. I've chatted about it briefly, but just trying to find some new and different things to be able to add to Windsor Wonderland for the folks that come. So
I did say we'd really work hard on sponsorships for that $4,000 ice rink.
I know. And as I've talked to people about what other things would they like to see, and everybody's mentioned an ice rink, and I said, oh yeah, there is one, but it's $4,000 for 3 hours. I'm not sure I could justify that.
JP Party Rentals might give us a nice discount of like $200.
Okay, well, yeah,
Bedroom.
all right.
I
cannot justify. I could spend. Andy's like, you already know what I do for her.
Was
How hard can it be?
Water Getty
Yeah.
2025.
What?
All right, Ms. Campbell.
September 25th, I attended Sample Urbandale as a sponsor in support of the Windsor Heights and Urbandale Chamber. But obviously, since our last meeting, the biggest thing is Fall Festival. So where to begin? I'm thanking everybody. Adam, Plaguey, and Nate for doing so much leading up to the event and planning food vendors day of, including managing the always hectic parade and several dozen emergencies and things that popped up. So thank you so much. Adam Straight, you're the best fish. I don't care what anybody says about you. You are the best.
Saying otherwise.
I'm just saying, of all the people in a fish costume,
I don't think it did.
fish
'cause I never
costume is
saw it.
fantastic.
Oh.
Andy and the team at Public Works, Andy gets the badge for working more hours on Saturday than Susan or I. He was there at 5:30 when Joseph and I got there to put out signs. He was still there 17 hours later when Susan and I left, and was still there at 11:30 PM overseeing the water main repair. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Chiefs Roth and Meese, thank you for navigating about 10,000 different things that happened, especially managing the Walmart parking lot, which always provides adventures, and making it possible to shoot off fireworks. And most of all, thank you to Susan, who worked tirelessly to fundraise with sponsors, build relationships with vendors, and keep me on task when I felt like I was drowning. So thank you, Susan. That's it.
We never were drowning. Great.
Libby.
Hey, thank you for the opportunity to join via Zoom. I think it's allergies. We're just not sure right now. Fall Fest was an amazing adventure. I spent about a little over 5 hours knocking doors on Sunday. And I visited with so many people that said that they had a great time at Fall Fest. And many of the folks were able to sit in their on their deck and watch the fireworks. So it was a great opportunity. And thank you again to two tireless workers, Susan and Lauren, for putting that together, and all the staff that were there to make it all happen and come together. I'll pending health issues, I'll be doing a coffee with council on Saturday, the 11th, and also I totally support you, Mr. Mayor, for lowering the flags here in Windsor Heights in memory of Claire Celsey. She was not only a longtime friend, but a friend to so many people in education and women, and she was a tireless worker, and we will all miss her leadership greatly. That concludes my report, sir.
Mr. Jones.
Again, to echo Lauren and Susan's hard work on the Fall Festival, and you did it with a smile when I saw you. Smiles on your faces, which is great. And I think the best part of the whole thing is just seeing how many people from Windsor Heights, but all the surrounding communities show up to go to all the events, and all the happy and eager faces, and even the people who are disappointed they ran out of pizza for the movie, but are still there and stick around and being a part of it. So I think what you've done with special events has really brought a lot of life back to our community, and that coupled with us redesigning the park has been really cool. So thanks for your leadership on that, because if it were up to me and Mike, the Joneses would not pull off such a party, I don't think. Our organizational party skills around, right, Mike? I mean, come on. Yeah, so
You would pull it off.
the only disappointment I have,
Proof.
only disappointment I have is I did not make it to Silent Disco this time around, so I did not get to have any of that fun, but
I didn't either, or the petting zoo, but I didn't hit anything. Got nothing.
Windsor Wonderland will have silent disco.
let's do it. So we had Dart today. We are now getting to that point in the year that I've been telling you about for a year almost, that we're getting down to the tough decisions. We had the consultants come talk to us today about the public input results from the redesign draft. So some of the things we heard back were that, how will this affect accessibility for people who have further distances to go if they have mobility issues, because we're getting rid of some of the stops, of course. Some longer travel times for some folks. I would say overall, the majority or the plurality was always in favor of what has happened, or positive response to what the draft design looks like. But there's still some things to tweak, including, we're missing some pieces, right? So those parts of West Des Moines that don't have service will not have service according to the draft plan. There's no access for the airport, things like that. But this is what we have based on what we have told the consultants, and based on what we've as a commission said that we had the money to do. So we'll have our next commission workshop on the 20th, which is, same day as our next council meeting. We'll have the final network presentation on the 4th of November. And then November will be the online public input for the final iteration. And then we'll take a vote on it at our December DART meeting. So that's step one. Step two is we talked a little bit about the funding formula and how we might update that. Of course, we've been doing this blending of the old formula with the new formula that hasn't been fully implemented yet. But now that we're going to redesign the system, so the questions become, do we throw that out the window, and do we better align the system and the funding together? So one of the things that SAF asked us to consider is, what does that look like if we were to talk about the distribution of service and the amount of service time within each community, and then base the funding formula on that. And with that, we would actually move from tier 3 to tier 4. We'd be I think we're the only city that actually goes down a tier. So that's part of what's being discussed as well. And then the third part is whether or not we as a commission would be in favor of having a paratransit only option for the cities that don't want to be a part of the full network. About that. That's a good way to describe it, huh? So that would directly apply to Bondurant and Pleasant Hill. And so those are kind of the big things that we'll have to decide by the end of the year. Sorry, Mike.
Cities that don't want to be a part of the phone network, but want to have
They
paratransit.
want to offer paratransit to their citizens.
And you said Bondurant and Pleasant Hill. When did Bondurant make that become part of that?
They have not formally announced that, but there has been discussion with the staff at DART
Oh, that's
about
nice.
them making that decision.
Okay.
Yep. And then after all of that, we received from the city of Des Moines a question about changing the governance structure as well, which I'm not sure that conversation is going to occur before the end of this year, but I think that the conversation will happen next year at some point as we are implementing the new system and the new, what I think will be the new formula, then whether or not there's a change to that. But I'm not sure that there's enough appetite for changing the governance structure. So that's all.
Joseph?
Yes, Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Grimes also pulled out, didn't they? Are they asking for paratransit or are they hooking up with a different company?
Grimes is fully out, Michael, so they don't have that, they wouldn't have that option in our current structure, our current way of working.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Carries?
So let's see here. As you could probably imagine, the last few weeks have been nonstop for Lauren and myself. The week leading up to Fall Festival was especially intense. I don't think either one of us got much sleep, but seeing the event come together made the long nights worth it. We had some great media visibility this year between We Are Iowa and WHO. We did 5 live interviews and 1 taped segment that ran on the evening news. It was wonderful exposure for Windsor Heights and a great reflection of what we can accomplish when we all work together. I want to thank everyone who stepped up to help. Lauren, of course, for her incredible dedication and organization. Therese, AJ, Mayor Jones, Joseph, our city staff from Public Works, City Hall, Fire Department, and Police Department. Each of you played a very critical role in the success of this event. You showed up, you worked hard, and it showed. Thank you to Therese and Joseph for pulling WAM signs, picking up the person serving water at the turning point. Joseph was there at 5:30 in the morning on Saturday to help Lauren with signs and pulling around golf carts. Thank you, Mayor Jones, for saving us by printing out paperwork at the last minute. I would go into all that AJ did, but we'll be here till maybe 9. So we'll just say he did a lot and wore a lot of shoes, including clown shoes probably, but that's beside the point. A huge thank you to the many community volunteers who help staff our booths, coordinate activities, and keep things running smoothly all weekend long. A special shout out to Tiffany from the Urbandale Windsor Heights Chamber and to Addie, her daughter, who was a lifesaver on Saturday. Addie even ended up tossing out my parade candy when I had to hop out and encourage a few of our parade walkers who thought big gaps were part of the plan.
Dad says sorry. My dad says sorry.
I did yell at him, but that's all right. I said it with a smile. Thank you to our business sponsors who deserve special recognition for all that they did. Their generosity allows this event to remain free and family friendly, which is something not every city can say. Attendance this year was fantastic. We got the notices today. We had over 1,900 people at the Movie in the Park, although honestly, I'd estimate that to closer to 2,000 to 2,100 just based on the crowd and what I've seen in other years. We had 750 at the parade, which wasn't bad considering the heat and the sun. And then more than 4,700 people at Colby Park between 2 p.m. and the fireworks. So for a city our size, those numbers are something to be proud of since we have, 5,200 in our city. So those are good numbers to have. We heard from many first-time attendees who couldn't believe our city pulls off events like this without a dedicated Parks and Rec staff. They're generally impressed by what our small but determined team can do. I also want to thank those who followed our event emails and instructions. It might seem small, but your cooperation made a big difference in keeping things smooth for Lauren and I. Given everything else that we were dealing with, including the water incident of 2025 that we will all learn to forget. I know I attended several chamber events to promote the fall festival, but I'm still catching up on sleep and I didn't want to run through my calendar. So we will have Wake Up Windsor Heights on Thursday morning at 8 a.m. at New Look Exteriors. Please register if you plan on attending. Finally, I just want to thank again Andy and the Public Works team, Chief Meese and the Fire Department, Chief Roth and the Police Department, AJ for everything that he was able to accomplish and fix for us, Adam, who deserves extra credit for wearing that fish costume in 90-degree weather. Although I have not seen it, so I don't know if that's the truth. Nate, Janelle, Lauren, Therese, Joseph, and Mike, plus all the family members that were voluntold into helping the event. Thank you very much. This event was successful because people showed up, worked together, and gave their time to support our community. That's what makes Windsor Heights special, when people choose to step up and be part of something bigger than themselves. And I'll just say, it's very clear who did this. I just want to make sure everybody knows that Flo Hunter, a past EMT, paramedic, and former city council member who actually put Windsor Heights special events on the map in Windsor Heights, passed away last Monday. Her celebration of life will be at the Community Event Center on Friday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Side note, thank you to Chief Meese for helping to arrange the fire department to be present at Flo's memorial, as well as Assistant Chief Burns's memorial service. Was it last week? All my weeks run together. So I know that your thoughtfulness has been seen by both families as well as past members of the fire department. Windsor Heights will have the Veterans Day luncheon on November 11th from 11:30 to 1. Invitations should go out this week or early next, depending on how quickly I get through the addresses. Surprised to see the veteran banners up already on University. I like how the Scaries family takes up almost a block. Was impressed by that. Then I will be attending the Catch Des Moines annual celebration tomorrow, as I was chosen to receive the 2025 Community Champion Award for Catch Des Moines. Don't think you are the only people I browbeat to come out and attend events and to volunteer at events. So this just shows I incorporate and include everybody in my browbeating. Thank you.
AJ? Nothing to add.
Well, we will go into closed session then. Per Iowa Code 2151J, to discuss the purchase of particular real estate only where premature disclosure could be reasonably expected to increase the price the governmental body would have to pay for that property. The minutes and the tape recording of a session closed under this paragraph shall be available for public examination when the transaction discussed is completed. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
I didn't know.
Roll call.
Susan Skiris.
Yes.
Joseph Jones.
Yes.
Michael Libby.
Yes.
Lauren Campbell.
Yes.
Oh,
Teresa
I should
Harms.
give you
Yes.
the more.